Staunton, your thoughts after that game?
I just thought it was probably the first half of rugby was probably the best rugby we've seen these boys playing all year. In fact, I would say it was probably the best half of rugby I've seen in the grammar school for over 10 years. Just unbelievable. Second half, inevitably the Jez were going to come back into it. We brought on the whole bench. It was tough towards the end of it, but the boys held out, and just really proud of the whole lot of them.
You talked about emptying the bench, and it was some of those substitutes that kept the ball out in the last gasp ditch tackles on the line. Jez camped on your for most of that half. They were camped on your line, and they just couldn't quite get across because of your defence. Yeah, the defence was immense. I mean, everybody from the 15 that started to the last man that came out there, the 23rd man that came onto that, they just held out there, and they were under a lot of pressure for the last 10-15 minutes, but the line wasn't breached, and that's probably one of the most satisfying things of the whole day today. A couple of knocks laid on, a couple of replacements maybe just to give lads a breather, a bit of cramp setting in as well. It was a tough frenetic game. Yeah, it was all action from the word go, a bit of cramp set in, but I think really the fitness did kind of that they've done over the years stand to them, and yeah, look, we were happy with everybody. There's a few little knocks there, but I think everyone should be fit for the final. In terms of the final now, 2 weeks to go, Marist, I suppose the surprise package for some people would have expected your local rivals here, Summerhill, to emerge out of that, but they did, and Marist came through impressively. Thoughts going into that final?
Look, I think all the 4 teams that were left in the semi-final had a chance. You know, the Jez on another day. The second half, I think the true Jez showed up. Like we probably caught them on the hop in the first parts of it. It was always going to be a tight game between Marist and Summerhill, and look, at Marist are a fine team. They've got a couple of Irish internationals. They've 4 or 5 Connacht players on top of that. They're well drilled. We will go into that, and look, it's anybody's game in the day, but we will go in fully prepared for it.
You're looking here as we have chatted, and maybe an hour after the final whistle, and we see the girls out having had an under-14 boys game straight after the senior match. Rugby's a huge part of the life here in the school.
Look, it is, like, there's many things here in the school, but I mean, today was a day where we had to play the Jez at under 14 as well. That game took place immediately after the senior game. Girls are out training now, and that's great to see. And look, it's very positive at the moment. I have to give great credit to the supporters who came out today. They were absolutely brilliant. They supported the ways people should support at a rugby match. They were really good. They showed great restraint on all the kicks, give respect to all the kickers, and that's what rugby's about, and there should be no other way when you come to a rugby match.
Where did the saxophone come from?
I'm not quite sure where the sax came from, but I told them if you want to come along and act like the French on tour, we're quite welcome to do it today, and I'd like to see a few more instruments when we hit down to the sports ground in 2 weeks' time. Of
course, speaking of supporters, the Jez had a decent crowd of mostly female supporters today, but they were very noisy on the other side of the field.
Look, I think credit goes to the Jez as well. Every single one of them that were there today, they respected our kickers. They were just really. The school should be very proud of them. They're, like ourselves, a co-ed school, and anytime we played the Jez, they're always well mannered, and they're a credit to the school.
Listen, congratulations today. Best of luck in 2 weeks.
Thanks a million.